Red button.
Sorry. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and the first order of business, I'd like to welcome everybody here, and we have a sign-in sheet. If everybody would sign in, we'd appreciate it. And next order of business, we're going to have a pledge of allegiance to the flag led by the director.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, the next order of business is have Suzanne give a roll call of the commissioners. Present.
Yes, here.
Commissioner Kaplan?
Here.
Commissioner Howell?
Here.
Commissioner Coburn?
Commissioner Coburn is excused. He's out of the country.
Commissioner McBeth?
Here.
Commissioner Morad?
Here.
Commissioner Rainey?
Here.
Commissioner Wallace?
Here.
Thank you. We'll have a roll call of the County Advisory Board members present. If you just stand up and give your name so loud so Suzanne can get them down.
Ken Wellington, Elko County. Paul Dixon, Clark County.
Gil Yoder, Carson City. Bracken Flowers, Washoe County. Tom Casanelli, Humboldt County.
Okay, welcome again. Did you get those, Suzanne? Thank you. The next item of business is approval of the agenda. I'd like to, I got something I'd like to add to it if there's any, but I'll ask any commissioner if they have anything they want to add to that, any change or anything. Hearing none, I'd like to have recognition of the Boating Officer of the Year, and I'll call, I'd like to add that and have Rob do a presentation on that. Is that okay? Go ahead and proceed, Rob.
Good morning. For the record, Rob Bonamici, Chief Game Warden. It's an honor today to have one of our game wardens here with us that has done, as many of our game wardens do statewide, an outstanding job. But Karen has gone above and beyond that. Karen Weldon has been nominated for Boating Officer of the Year. And received it. This will be the third time in her career since she started in 1995. She does an outstanding job for us, makes thousands and thousands of boating contacts, as well as checking fishermen and hunters, and does them with, I can't even recall a complaint we've had on her. You know, the arresting people, the drunks, she does it all. And then she goes even above and beyond that with our FTO program, Field Training Officers. We're actually trying to clone her. So she trains our new officers that come into our agency and trains them in the field, is responsible for that. She kind of heads up that program. We have other FTO officers, but she's always taken the lead on that and just done an outstanding job for us. So with that, I'd like to present to Karen Boating Law Enforcement Officer of the Year Award. And it reads, be it known that Karen Weldon is hereby awarded the Nevada Boating Law Enforcement Officer of the Year Award in recognition of outstanding public service, unmatched professionalism in marine law enforcement, and personal commitment to ensuring safe and enjoyable recreational boating. And that comes from the Western States Boating Law Administrators. So that's a West-wide recognition. Karen?
Bring her up to the microphone.
Yes, sir, thank you.
We appreciate, the department appreciates what you're doing to have an employee like you.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to receive this, and all the boating officers, they're equally able to, I mean, they all deserve this award, not just me, because it's a team effort, but I feel honored to receive it, so thank you.
Thank you. Did we have a motion to approve the agenda then, Commissioner Rain?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to approve the agenda as presented and as amended earlier this week.
Second for that? Second by Commissioner Capurro. All for the motion, aye? Aye. Ayes have it, thank you. Next item of business is member items and announcements. Commissioners, any commissioner have any announcement or items they want to?
Mr. Chairman, I got a question. Are we filming today? Yes. We are filming? My grandkids want to know what channel I'm going to be on.
For the record, Ken Mayer, Director of Vendal. Like the last time, what we have to do is we take the actual tapes, send them to a vendor, and then they break it into a web acceptable format. So this will be on the web.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Is that the cameras taking our backs up here?
I'm not quite sure where all the cameras are, but
Okay. Any other Commissioner Cavan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a couple of items. First of all, we did receive at least I did receive the commission guidebook in the mail, and I haven't had time to, we just got it last week. Haven't had time to go through it, but I wanted to thank staff for putting that together. I think it'll be a good resource for everyone involved, the commission and staff and crew. So thanks for bringing that out and getting it customized to Nevada, putting the laws and that sort of thing in.
and Commissioner Cavan, Ken Mayer again. We do have the copies from the MAT team, you know, the raw version if anybody wants that. But what we've done is we took that and we added the Nevada laws to it. So they're virtually the same with all the Nevada stuff in it, which you got. So.
Right. It's pressed. And then I had a question, and maybe it's for Ken. I had a big email problem the last month. It took me about 3 weeks to get the thing solved, between thinking we could fix the computer ourselves and all of that sort of thing, dealing with our provider. And ultimately, I ended up missing out on about 3 weeks of email before I ended up having to, you know, take the thing in and getting it de-virusized. But I was wondering if there's, and not having an ID department in the Cavan household, you know, I don't have things backed up. I lost an entire year of emails, all my archives, all of that stuff. So I was wondering if at some point we could maybe get emails for the commission through the state system. Is that something that is possible, or we can look into, or
Well, yeah, Ken Mayer for the record. Yes, we have looked into that. Unfortunately, DoIT will not allow non-state employees, even though that you're on the commission, to have an email on the backbone, the state backbone. We tried 2 different times to get that done. When Commissioner Lent came on the commission, he asked us about that. So we could certainly inquire again, but the answer has been no. So
is that information technology? Is that who you're talking about?
I'm sorry. Yeah, DoIT. I don't know why they call it DoIT, because most of the time
Department
they
of
can't do
Information.
it. But
IT.
So is that, that's outside the division? That's the state?
They control all of the email and
Agency.
and whatnot. If we do anything web-wise, we got to go through DoIT as well, through the state backbone. So,
I don't know, maybe other commissioners don't care about that, but after experiencing this problem, and I could see where it'd be at least helpful in my personal
yeah,
perspective.
sorry about that. We tried, actually, in earnest.
Okay.
Ms. Mayor, could you maybe draft a letter for my signature, and we'll request it in writing, and because technically we're state employees, and I'd like to maybe address it formally in a letter to them, to the right people.
Sure, we can do that. Suzanne, do you have any additional information?
Just the same as what you said.
Yeah.
Try a letter calling.
And let's direct a letter, and I'll sign it and make it formal to them, because, you know, technically we're state employees for other things. We should be able to get an email address for the commissioners. I'll be glad to sign it, and you give me
Sure.
who it goes to, and,
Oh, we can send it to the director. I'll
yeah.
do it. And that's where I would.
And maybe they can make
I've talked-
exceptions or something, but I think the commissioners, it'd be the commissioners express that to me, and I've mentioned it several times, so. Does any commissioner have any problem with that? Okay. Let's do that for my signature, and we'll send it to the director. Is that okay, Commissioner Cavan?
Sure, that's fine. And I had one other thing.
Okay.
Just trying to get heads up on the upcoming legislative year. It seems like it's a long ways away, but last year, I think we may have missed the boat. I don't know exactly what happened, but maybe at our February meeting, we could get an update from staff of internal bill drafts that you guys are anticipating, so that we have a heads up on it. I think there was a little confusion last year. Maybe we just didn't communicate, but.
Certainly, great suggestion. We had the whole management team got away, and one of the agenda items was to list legislative ideas. So we have a raw list that we need to go through and edit, but when we get that edited up, we'll certainly relay that to you and tell you what we're thinking about doing.
Great, thanks, Ken.
And then then you guys could add things to that list, obviously.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other commissioners got any emergent items they want to discuss? Hearing none. Oh, Commissioner Rain?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just had some questions about an article that's in the Nevada Hunt book, specifically on the Nevada bighorns on the rise, and I was just wondering if I could get some, this references some support material to give evidence that bighorn sheep numbered close to 30,000 in Nevada. It's an article in here, and if there's some support material, some history that shows this to be true, I would just appreciate if I could get a copy of any of that, whatever. This book, Sage, page 6, 7 goes on. Yeah, 6, 7. The scientific basis for that document, whatever you got, would appreciate it. Thank you.
It's written by Aaron Meyer.
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's on our information education staff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know everybody. Any other commissioner has any items they want to bring up? Hearing none, I'll go to the next item of business, with County Advisory Board, Managed Wildlife member items. Anybody from a county board wanted to bring anything up? This is the time.
Good morning, Ken Wellington from Elko County. I was approached by Mr. Laughlin, Pat Laughlin, regarding the heritage projects and the problems he's having trying to get these off the ground. He had concern with the department, and when I went back and checked my notes in the past minutes, I found that this commission had directed the Predator Damage Committee to come back with a recommendation. So I actually found the fault kind of in the delay with the committee and the commission. And so with that, I would just ask that maybe we can get Mr. Rain, who chairs that committee, to do a letter or a phone call to Mr. Laughlin apologizing. If we could do that, I'd appreciate it. Okay?
Thank you. As
Thank
I
you.
remember, we bring it back to the Predator Committee for approval, and it comes back to the commission again. Is that my memory?
That was what my notes showed for the minutes and the notes I had taken from the meeting.
And then it's going to come back to the commission to be voted on.
Exactly. And if Mr. Rain could help us out with that, or Commissioner Rain could help us out with that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, Gil Yannick, Carson City Advisory Board. I'd like to announce the fact that the Fuji Park Pond work is underway. It was approval, the contract was let, and work proceed order was issued on last Monday, and 78 days from last Monday, we should have Fuji Park Pond in operation. Well, it'll be finished. We'll have the water, we'll sit in it until springtime, it'll turn over, get acclimated, and we'll work out something, I'm sure, with NDOW about stocking that pond. We would like to have agendized for the December meeting in Reno, where the advisory board and the Carson City Fly Fishing Club would like to make a presentation to the commission on the progress and work that have gone almost completed by the time the commission meeting in December is scheduled for. And we have some other things in work to commemorate the occasion, but in the meantime, we plan to bring a series of slides and presentation material to make the board aware of what has happened, and we'd like to thank the board and the Department of Wildlife for their long-term support on this project and for the financial support that they provided to make this come to fruition.
One question, Gil. Where are you going to get the water?
The water is already, the diversion lock has already been built. The tribe is, the Paiute tribe is all in favor of letting us have the water from Clear Creek, and everybody's getting along very well.
Would you send me something, a note in writing on that to be
Sure.
put on the agenda?
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil. Commissioner Capurro?
Gil, what are the dimensions of that pond?
I'm sorry?
The dimensions of that.
It's a 1 acre pond. And it'll also have a free-floating, the depth, 15 feet, and it'll have a ADA-approved pier and ramp. It's going to be great with a railing, and it's going to have rod holders. You'll be impressed.
What are you going to plant in it? Pike?
No, thank you.
What kind of fish?
Thank you.
What kind of fisheries are going to be?
Probably it's going to be a put and take with trout.
Trout?
Yes.
Good.
And it'll be a great thing for the Carson City and the area. And you know, we've got all kinds of plans afoot to utilize the pond to promote fishing, promote family, usage of the pond. We'll use it for training for fishermen and sports fishers from around the county and anybody else who wants to come to town to use it. So everybody's really looking forward to this. And
kids fishing derbies and stuff
yes,
like that?
Yes, we can give Gardnerville some competition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, recently I attended the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies meeting in Texas, and all the state directors are there and directors of all the federal agencies. And I can tell you, the states that are maintaining their fishing license sales, it's all about urban fishing programs. So being the driest state in the nation, it's tough for us, but this is a great project, and we're trying to encourage other urban fishing opportunities as well.
Right. We had there's opportunities even in Reno, like on Coleman Pond up there in northwest Reno, digging it out a little bit and putting fish on there and having a kids derby on that. There's a lot of opportunity, I know, even in the Reno area for limited fishing, like the Sparks Marina is. That really draws a big crowd, sells licenses. Any other county board members for any announcements? If not, I'll close the agenda on that and go to public comment period, and make sure everyone fills out a card if you wish to speak. Commissioner Ray.
I had two people that had public comment written on it. First one was Ken Wellington. That'd be followed by Mr. Cecil Freddy.
Sorry about that, I'm getting old. Again, for the record, Ken Wellington from Elko County. I'm speaking on behalf of myself on this one. And what it was about is some concern over the time clock management in Elko for the 3 minutes. Now, all my life have fought for people's rights to be able to speak and say their piece. In fact, I get kind of criticized at my meetings because I allow people to go on and because I feel everybody has a right to speak. I just want what's fair. And what I noticed is that Mr. Vogler had a good point. He got up to speak. Maybe that should have been an agenda item so the department could have addressed some of his concerns. But, you know, he was allowed to speak for 14 minutes. And then Mr. Freddie was punished and only could speak for 8 minutes. And people after that were limited to 3. And so I just, as a point of information, I'm a real kind of stickler that I think people have the right to speak out. And if it's 3 minutes, it's 3 minutes. But if it's more than that, then let's make it more than that and make it fair for everybody. Keeps us away from any open meeting stuff. And with that, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, we usually have a clock here, and I remember in a Lovelock meeting when Don Moley was there, and he had graphs, and time he handed them out, so I think we gave him a little extra time because it took him time to hand out the graphs and that, but we try to raise our hand. We don't have a bell. We got a small bell here when the time is up, and then the vice chair, you know, tells them the time's up, wrap it up, and so we give them a few more seconds to wrap it up, but we try to keep everybody in the same. We really do.
Okay, and that's all I'm asking for,
Yeah.
because I do believe
No, I
in that.
understand, because
And
they can get carried away, and that's why we have a little clock up here.
I'm fair with that. I just thought, you know, Mr. Freddie had things that he wanted to say too, and I know some of the other people, and they didn't get a chance to finish everything they were going to
I
say.
thought maybe I cut him off at the last meeting. I told him time was up when he was talking. I thought I did that, but anyway, we do keep track of it, and the vice chair usually has a clock running, so we'll watch that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public?
Mr. Frid, I had a card for public comment.
Cecil Freddy, and this one won't be long. Some county advisory boards to manage wildlife, like Clark County, are demanding more power over the Wildlife Commission. County advisory boards claim they represent the general public and sportsmen in their representative counties. Well, in some cases they don't, and I'll prove it. I obtained the sign-in sheet, and I have them here, which I'll turn in. I obtained the sign-in sheets for the people attending the Clark County Advisory Board meeting from the beginning of this year. Excluding wildlife commissioners, former commissioners, and Down County employees, here are the results. In January, 3 people attended the meeting. In March, 5 people. In June, 5 people. August, 5 people. September, 3 people. That's an average of 4.2 sportsmen or general public attending the meeting in Clark County. Washoe County has the same 2 or 3 people attending their meetings. There was a high of 10 people attending the meeting to lynch Chairman Lind. That'll bring back our deer. Clark County has a population of 2 million, Washoe County 400,000. Attendance is pathetic at these 2 county advisory boards. Who are they going to blame for this, Chairman Lind? Clark County has 7 people on their board. That's 3 more than are attending their meetings. When you have more people on the board than the people attending the meeting, you're basically representing yourself. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Commissioner Macbeth?
Thank you, Chairman Lent. I would like to address Mr. Freddie's comments, and I do want to point out that I'm always disappointed at the attendance at the advisory board meetings, but I can guarantee you that there are more people attending than what was just indicated. And I have a feeling what's happening is that maybe some people are attending the meetings and they don't sign in. We've had some pretty good meetings this year. We've had a lot more attendance this year than we've had in the past. And as a commissioner, you know, I attend those meetings to make sure, you know, that I can provide input. And I know Charlie has been attending, and Bruce has attended as well. And so I can attest that there are more people than the average of 4. It's probably more to the tune of about 8, you know, 7 or 8. So I have a feeling maybe some people just aren't signing in. But the point is well taken. You know, I wish we could get more attendance and you know, from everybody. I would like to see Mr. Freddie come to our meetings. I really would. So.
And that's why I made made it at the commission meetings that the county advisory board should make the meetings interesting. Have guest speakers, BLM, Forest Service, expand their agenda from our agenda, because sportsmen want to hear about the transplant program and get the area biologists to come in and talk about one of their favorite, whether it's water development or even the history of sheep in southern Nevada. And when I was on the board in Washoe County, we had guest speakers come in from Sheldon Refuge and talk about that. We even had the cattlemen come in and talk about some developments, and we had an expert on wild horses. And I think the county boards, and I've said this before at this meeting, instead of just rubber stamping our agenda, make their own agenda up and create interest so people will attend. A couple of years ago, when I was at Washoe County's meeting, at the #1 meeting of the year, the season setting, I and one other public member was there. There's 2 people, and that was the most important meeting of the year for the county board, as far as I'm concerned. From a hunting standpoint, there's only 2 people there, so I think it behooves, and I've said this before, the county boards have to make it interesting and not boring, and have a program and spend some time developing it and get people to come out to the meetings. They should put it in the sporting goods store. They should get it in the newspaper, and I don't know. I haven't seen it much up north. I don't know what they do down here, but that was my take, and I keep saying that to the county boards over and over. Commissioner Macbeth.
Another suggestion at our last meeting was that apparently there's a lot of people that don't like traveling the distance through traffic to get to a 6 o'clock meeting here in this building. And so one of the suggestions was that we actually try to hold meetings in different locations, go out to Henderson, for instance. We've been told that there's probably a contingent of people that would come to meetings, that live in Henderson if we had a meeting there. Other suggestions were meetings that maybe out in Mesquite, Logandale, Overton area. And in other words, try to move around so we can get a better coverage, because this is a big city, and getting around it is not the easiest thing.
Thank you. Commissioner Cabral.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wonder about the possibility of securing some PSAs from some of the media sources to get a better indication to people that the meeting is even there. Sometimes you find out that it's just not well enough publicized that meeting. And I would agree with your comments on having a program that deals with issues other than what is agendized at times. But somebody might want to look into public service announcements that would assist in increasing
Microphone.
attendance.
Thank you. I know that up north in Reno, Mark Forrest Sporting Goods Store, which is the biggest sporting goods store in the north, and I think it's one of their biggest license sellers for hunting and fishing licenses, and they made a special board up years ago when I was on the board, and it was called Washoe County Board to Manage Wildlife Bulletin Board or something. They had a special bulletin board up there to put the announcement on right in the front of by the cash register, and they volunteered to do that. And then pretty soon nobody from the board was putting notices or anything of interest to sportsmen right where they could see it at the cash register. So they did that up there, and that we have a Cabela's up there and you have a Bass Pro down here, and just having a bulletin board for the advisory boards to tell all the sportsmen coming there, yes, we have a meeting and here's the agenda, and that was doing good for a long time. And then whoever took over the board up there just didn't do it, so they took the board down. But that was another idea that we had up in the north at one time. Commissioner Rain.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had one comment on that, and then I had an additional public comment at some point. On that, I know, just to perhaps reiterate some of what's happening, I know generally I am the public when I go to the meeting over there in Eureka County, and I remember there was one other member of the public about 1.5 years ago that I recall. So, and I think that was somebody that was looking to, there was a vacancy on the board and they wanted to get on at the time. But that seems to be the way of the world. And a lot of it has to do with lack of stuff that's relevant to the county specifically.
You got another item?
Yes, thank you. And the other thing, I would just like to make comment. I've had the Mr. Sefton's website has got some really good stuff on it, and I found it very useful because I get people coming in, you know, have issues with NDI. Just relate an incident. I won't tell the guy's name. The guy comes in. There's conspiracy. You know, my bonus points are not giving them to me. You know, the world's coming down. All this stuff. And the website, it has the information. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's true. Let's type it up. Website's right there. The information's right there. Okay, what's your social security number? He types all the stuff in the computer. The answer is right there. It makes it simple. That, I mean, you know, I could resolve his issue. Came in, conspiracy, the world was coming to an end. He left, and oh, I see. It's great to have that resource at your fingertips. It really does resolve things. And you know, I run into a lot of the hunting public all the time. It's part of my business. And you know, I'm in a grocery store, hunters coming in all the time, you hear these things, and it's really great to just be able to resolve those questions. And what you've got is great. Thank you.
Any other comment? Okay. I had it open at one time for the public. Come on up.
Well, the reason why I'd like to speak is
You got to come up to the microphone if you're going to speak.
Thank you for recognizing me, Chairman Lent. Paul Dixon, Clark County Cab Chairman. The reason I'm up here to speak, and I did put on for public comment, is I'd just like to say some things in rebuttal to what Cecil Freddy said in his public comment for the public record. As pointed out by Commissioner Macbeth, we get emails, I get phone calls, and stuff from sportsmen in this state. All of our board members do, and all of our board members bring those, and we agendize action items prior to the meeting based on those phone calls from sportsmen who cannot always attend the meetings, as Commissioner Macbeth said. We did discuss, as Commissioner Macbeth said, moving the meetings around to various places in Clark County, which is a large county with a large amount of people, to try to hit some of the sportsmen's areas out at Henderson and other things, which is, this will be my third meeting as chair in December, so I'm slowly making changes to where I want to go in this. The other thing is I have received from 2 former chairs at Clark County their mailing lists, and for this last meeting, I did a mail distribution to probably 150 people who used to attend meetings at one time and invited them. I don't know if I had any success at getting there. Some email addresses bounced, but I did and am trying to do things along those lines. I like your suggestion, Chairman Lent, that we go out to Bass Pro Shops and try to get a board. I hadn't thought of that. I think that's a great idea. But I would ask the public and people to realize that Mr. Freddy has not attended one meeting in the year that I've been going to and been on the Clark County Advisory Board or other things. And for him to stand up and say that he represents, as Hunters Alert and other things, the sporting public, but doesn't attend the meetings down here, I think it's a bit hypocritical, and I'll end with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that within 2 minutes? I had a comment, but I don't know if it is the time to bring it up. But we're keeping a tally of the county boards. What do we have, 5 represented today? Suzanne? We keep a tally. I'd just like to comment on that. You know, as far as I'm concerned, we keep a tally, and at the end of the year, you know, when their budgets come through, if they don't attend the meetings, then, you know, we should take that. If they attend 50% of the meetings, we should do 50% of their budget. Now, this meeting is, I think, is important. We got 5 counties here, and, you know, we're going to set fishing seasons, and we got 5 counties here. Well, you know, fishing brings a lot of revenue into the department, and this is an important meeting. And because the game department, their budget is $187,000, and the fisheries is $839,000. It's very important. This is a very important meeting because we're going to set fishing seasons, and we only have 5 counties here, and that's disrespectful. I think that, you know, this important meeting when we're going to set fishing season, and we're going to have a lot of complaints, and I think the sportsmen should be just as interested in fishing as they are in hunting and everything else in the state, and I really am, you know, disappointed we only have 5 county boards this should be one of the big meetings of the year. That's just what I want to say about that. Okay, I'll close the, not hearing any more public comment, I'll close the public comment. Go to the next item of business is approval of the minutes. Has everyone had time to read the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make public comment.
Public comment?
Yes.
Okay, I'll reopen it.
My name is John Hyatt, 8180 Placid Street here in Las Vegas. I'd like to address two issues. First one is use of lead shot and bullets. I'm aware that the department has banned lead shot on wildlife management areas, and I certainly congratulate you for that. I think it was a great move. But I think we need to step up and look at the next move, which would really be banning lead shot and bullets in hunting, period. The more we learn about the toxicity of lead for humans and animals, the more toxic it seems it is. If you look at what the federal government has done in terms of lowering acceptable blood lead levels in children, it's just come down, down, down over the years. And there certainly is some threat to both human and animal health from use of lead shot and bullets. People hunt quail, chukar, and so on, and that meat, if they eat it, has some shot in it oftentimes. Sometimes, most of the time people chew on that, they bite down, they feel it, they spit it out, but not always. And if that's children eating that stuff, they ingest it, and even a single lead pellet's going to do something significant for their blood level, which affects basically mental development in children. It also affects wildlife. If we look at the number of eagles that die from eating carrion that's got lead in it, it's significant. Most people don't see those eagles. You know, they're off someplace, they just die. But wildlife rehabilitators can tell you that they do see those animals occasionally, and with enough work they can be saved. But if we just did away with lead, that could solve that problem. We've done away with lead in gasoline, we've done away with lead in paint, and I think that we should consider doing away with lead in bullets and shot that we're putting out there. The other item I'd like to address is something on your agenda tomorrow. I won't be here at that time to comment. That's input concerning Nevada's mule deer population. I think that we've had studies now going back almost a century which demonstrate that habitat is key to any wildlife population. It's habitat, 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 and if we don't work on habitat, we're not going to have these animals. Nevada being a very dry state, it's also very much dependent upon precipitation. If you look at NDOW's own studies, which they've done over the years, you can see that years following high precipitation levels that we have increased numbers of deer. And so I know that there's a focus now on predators, but if we don't work on habitat, you know, the predator stuff is basically, I think, irrelevant. So I would really recommend that strongly consider habitat projects. Thank you.
Thank you. The public comment period is closed. We're not going to reopen it now. We're on approval of minutes, and has everybody had time to read the minutes? Are there any corrections to the Commissioner Rain?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had reviewed the minutes, and there was one, well, there was just a couple minor things. One was on page 5, and and that would be the bottom paragraph, 4th line, second half that says, and staff plan to attend out of state, I believe my wording, and I went back and looked. I was asked to repeat this at the following meeting, so I went and looked at the videotape, which is nice to look at, and I repeated the exact same thing, and it was, and staff attended, as in past tense, out of state. So I moved, we strike plan to attend and insert attended. That is what I stated, that was in the notes, and when I repeated that twice at the request of the AG at the following meeting, you'll note on the videotape that is exactly what it states. Also, the number on the following page, page 6, for the number, page 6, paragraph 2, where it says the slaughter of 909 does, I believe that was 987 was the number. Those two corrections all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Where was that at then?
That would be page 6, where it says 2, number 2 down below,
number 2, right.
Correspondence, and just the number there was 987 as opposed to 909.
87.
Yeah, 987.
97, okay. Any commissioner have any problem with those changes? Any other corrections? If not, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
Move to approve as corrected, Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as corrected. Any discussion? All for the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as distributed. Huh? Corrected as distributed, right.